think when people are able to let go of money, as being like, this really important thing that you do anything to get, even befriend certain people and get into weird certain
Oh,
situations with
yes.
money. If you're able to let that go, then you can really remember, like, these are the important things in life, whether it's, in my case, my wife, or
Yes.
creating, creating art that's meaningful, creating
Hmm.
films uh, that mean something.
That's right.
That's fulfilling
They
beyond the
say
money.
everybody has their price, money wise. I totally disagree with that. I hate that saying. Everybody has their price. That's not true.
You know who says that? People who have given themselves over for, or who have sold their souls, um,
Hmm.
for money. People who
Hmm.
have given themselves over for money. Um, somebody thought that I had a price, and when a certain situation came up, and I said, no, the situation's wrong. This is not right. Here's
Hmm.
the money back.
There you
Like,
go.
you know what I mean? There are
The
certain things in life that are more important, that money could never buy, either huge amounts or
integrity,
small amounts.
integrity.
Yeah,
And you
integrity.
and you have a great deal of integrity, and that's what I admire about you.
Thank you, Dory. I appreciate that, because if if that's a personal choice for any one of us, and whether or not we're conscious of it, and we've all seen the thing floating around on Facebook that says integrity is the thing that, whether or choosing to do the right thing, whether or not anyone else is looking, that's called
That's right.
integrity. And
Right.
so, I think when you remember that there is a world and more important things beyond money, then that's when I'm just able to walk away with from certain people in certain situations, and I'm just like, yeah, no thanks. Like,
Yeah.
I'm literally better off. Um, I don't want to say, I was going to say the word poverty, but I'm literally better off, living within my means and working with the little that I do
Yes.
have, versus this situation over here that I want.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so, um, I think there's an authenticity that comes from storytellers, whether actors, actresses, um, when mentally you set the money aside, you set that
Mhm.
aside, and you think like Joaquin Phoenix,
Oh, yeah.
all
Yeah.
these years, all these years later, is winning an Oscar,
Yeah.
and he's not up there talking about how much money he's made throughout the
No,
years.
he's
No,
not.
the guy still has a lot of things that he
Yes.
experiences in here, going back
Hmm.
to his brother's death,
Hmm.
and all of the other things that he cared about, all of the other things that he wanted to express, none of which had to do with money on that stage
Hmm.
at that moment. And so I think he is a great example of how human you can still be despite the money,
That's
despite
right.
setting that aside. And so I
We
don't know,
were
it's a fascinating thing.
very poor. Our family, we were very, very poor. And we used to go to the Goodwill, and I got a dress there for a quarter, and I was so proud of it. And now this was in junior high, and I wore it to school. And you always had like the most popular people there, the football players, the cheerleaders, what have you. And a cheerleader come up to me and she was laughing and she pointed at my dress. And this is how stupid and gullible and naive I was. She goes, "Oh my God." She said, "Where did you get that dress?" And I said, "Oh," I said, "You like it?" I said, "I got it at the Goodwill." I said, "You can borrow it if you want to." And her face got beet red and she had this look of horror on her face and she walked away. I never understood the impact that I had with my honesty on her until years later. She
Really.
was actually embarrassed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here she is trying to make you feel bad, but
Yeah.
your humility in the moment, had, I'm pretty sure that's, if she's still with us, I'm pretty sure that's still with her,
We can only hope so.
you know?
But I didn't, I wasn't saying to be facetious because I wasn't facetious. I was just being honest. I really loved the dress and I really would have let her borrow it.
Yeah. No, and that just goes to show that she tried to make that moment about money and about,
Hmm.
class and status and whatnot. There's so
Right.
much that she tried to make that moment about, unintentionally, subconsciously,
Hmm.
even. But you made it, again, unintentionally or subconsciously, you made it
Mhm.
about more than money. You made it
Right.
about the kindness that you chose to just exhibit in that moment, and you
Mhm.
turned it, you flipped the situation on its head. And
Mhm.
so I think that's cool, Dory, because
Yes.
not even in filmmaking, and with acting and whatnot, not everything has to be or needs to be about money. And so,
No, no, it
um,
doesn't.
and it goes back to me in the tree houses. I went to, I was blessed to go to Catholic school, but the thing is that the difference between our family and my brother, my sister, myself, and other families is that other families, they were really loaded, and our family, we weren't poor, but at the same time we weren't them either. And
Right.
so again, the Nintendos, the Sega Genesis in the 90s,
Mhm.
when that was big, and here I am telling other like those kids, like,
Right.
well, they're the ones, I got a Sega Genesis, and
Mhm.
snooty little shits who tell
Mhm.
me, I asked my dad to take me to KB Toys or Toys R Us, and just like that, I got a Sega Genesis. And I'm just like, well, that's good for you. Um, but again, back to the tree houses.
Exactly.
My brother and I, we had a blast. We had a
Yep.
blast finding lumber, hauling it home, getting my dad's hammer and nails out, and basically we made some pretty kick-ass tree houses.
See,
And
you were even creative then.
yeah,
You've
because
never lost that creativity.
and it came from, like, I kind of give thanks that I was not one of those that
Yes.
depended on the money that my parents had, because
Right.
I was not that kid, and those were not my parents that were, I'd ask, take me to Toys R Us and buy me this, or they weren't the
Right.
type to say, I'm going to take you to Toys R Us and I'm going to buy you this. That
Right.
just wasn't our family. And so it was about nails and wood and
Right.
crap that I'd find in other
Right.
people's garbage on trash day.
Yep.
And I didn't care. I was happy because it wasn't about the money. It was about the creativity. And so it goes back to films, because I mean, one of the big movies, remember 1992 and Mariachi, Robert Rodriguez, that was the movie that like launched his career.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It was after that, it was Dust Till Dawn, Desperado.
Hmm.
So I read his book, and I still have it here to this very day. The original book that I bought in 1994,
Wow.
chronicling, his day to day, basically a diary style journey of the pre-production, the production, the post-production when he made it to Hollywood. And to this day, I've literally have gotten to know people that doubt that he did not really make that movie for $7,000 because it was 16 millimeter, and how could
Right.
he? And that's, he's lying, and what a load of BS. And I'm just like, hey, you know what? Like, I believe he made it for 7,000, especially with how frugal he's describing his shooting and his
Right.
very crass, very homemade style of making movies. So I do believe that he made it for
Yeah.
$7,000. Other people say, of course, well, when Columbia Pictures came in, they dumped who knows how many hundreds of thousands of dollars into it. I'm just like, yeah, no shit. Like of course it's Columbia Pictures. They're gonna want a clean print. They're gonna want to clean up
Right.
the audio and stuff. So
Right.
of course they're gonna dump money into it. But do there are
The
literally,
bottom line was he made it.
he made it. He got it done. He got it done, and that was the movie
Yep.
that he was actually originally going to sell to the Mexican straight to video market.
Hmm.
Then one guy said, I know another guy. That guy said, I know another guy, and eventually he ends up in Hollywood. And
Uh-huh.
then somebody there said, you know what, we have to submit this to Sundance. And then he won Best Picture, I think it was, in 1992 from Sundance. And that was it. Like, I mean, he ran with it from there. Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, all the
Yeah.
90s Rodriguez hits, right? But you're right. He got it made, Dory, and a lot of people, it breaks my heart, but I'm not going to judge them. But it does break my heart when people just are hell bent on doubting. That's
Yep.
not possible for $7,000. That is not possible. And my thing is, why not?
That's right.
Why not? Like,
That's
if
right.
if you shoot as frugally as he described here, let me even pull out the book right here. I got in my little cubby. This is the book.
Oh, yay.
And look how crappy it looks, and look how old it looks. I mean, it's even
Hey.
It's even eaten up at the sides and whatnot
I
because I
love
kept
it.
it for that
I love
long.
it.
Here, let me try to find. Okay, I don't know if you can see this right here. Not that not that you have to read it, but basically I'd highlight sections.
Oh, yeah.
I thought this is some great information
Yeah.
for somebody who's got big filmmaking dreams and
The
visions and
props.
no money. But it doesn't have to be about, and I'm just going to try to put it away later, or else it's going to look like an
See,
earthquake.
what an entrepreneur he was.
Yeah, yeah. And you're right, Dorie. Ultimately, he got it made. It it just breaks my heart that people are hell bent on proving or disproving the fact that his claim is that he got it made for $7,000. I do believe it is true. That's my opinion. If anybody wants to fight me on that, please, and if you're watching this, don't bring that fight to me. Take it to Robert Rodriguez himself, because I'm not here to fight anyone. But he, in this book, not not only does he tell you about, that not only does he chronicle the step-by-step, day-by-day process of, you know, of how it all came about in Mariachi, and then, Desperado, and the rest is history. But it's also a mindset and a methodology with regards to how to still go after your dream when you don't have a lot of money, and why and how it's still possible if and when you don't have a lot of money. It's the most amazing methodology I've ever seen. And honestly, I've not seen many other. There are a few other iterations from other people throughout the years, but you don't see many like that, because it goes back to what you said, Dorie. He got it made, and it wasn't about the money. He got it made. He said, I have $7,000. I've got a border town in somewhere in Chihuahua, where Chihuahua, I mean, I know it's a long stretch, where Chihuahua meets the state of Chihuahua meets Texas on the Mexican side. He had a border town, a bunch of extras, a camera, and a best friend, and they just ran around. And so it's not all about the money sometimes.
Right.
And it's not all about the money a lot of times. Actually, sometimes there are more important things in the realm of filmmaking, like exercising your craft. And so anyway, I'm going to stop it there, because I could just talk forever and ever about
It's okay. I really enjoyed it, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. The humility that you maintain throughout your films is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Dorie. Appreciate that.
And I feel, I don't know, I think we covered a lot of subjects, but I feel very fortunate to know you. I was very happy to be part of your film inspiration, and I will continue to support your creativity.
Thank you, Dorie. I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much, because you know what? It's support like that gets, your small independent filmmaker like me out there, just one little, grain of sand on the beach of filmmakers. But it's like, yeah, like somebody likes what I'm doing. So thank you, Dorie.
I love it. Thank you.
And Dorie, so go ahead and send me any information, like an email, that you want me to put out there, just so that people can reach out to you, maybe your IMDb if you have one.
Okay.
Anything that you want me to put in the description of the video. That way people who are, my hope is that somebody out there is going to say like, hey, I want to reach out to Dorie. I want to talk to her about, a role, or reach out to Dorie for a role. And yeah, so go ahead and send me any information you want me to put out there in the description of the video. Okay, Dorie?
Thank you, Edgar.
You're very welcome. And
enjoy your day.
You too. And also any other information, like to the Bernie movie, or whatever you want me to put out there. And I would definitely love to do a follow-up with you, Dorie, as to where you're at, and maybe once we're out of the pandemic, or maybe you're like, hey, Edgar, I got a new project going on. Let me know, Dorie. I'd love to definitely.
All right. Thank you, Edgar.
In the near future, okay?
All right. Thank you.
All right, Dorie. Thank you very much. And
all right.
I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.